Hello and welcome to Everything's Fine, probably your regular antidote to bad news. And the first thing to say is, Happy New Year! Welcome 2026. We actually made it. We survived 2025. The year that began with everyone saying, oh, surely it can't get worse, and ended with us quietly whispering, oh, thank God it didn't. We're actually recording this on the 30th of December, so it's not quite too late for us to do one of those review of the year shows that everyone likes to put out between Christmas and New Year. So we're going to be looking back on some of the good stuff that happened in 2025, and I don't mean good for one side or good depending on your political alignment and tolerance for spreadsheets, just objectively nice things that happened on a planet that we're usually trying to burn despite it being our only home. Think of this as a highlights reel, a best bits of humanity compilation to remind you that while everything's complicated, everything isn't completely broken. Joining me to look back on the year is Stu. How are you?
I'm fine, Jim. Happy New Year to you.
And to you.
Did you have a nice Christmas, Jim?
Oh, I did, thanks. Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, really good. I can see you got some box fresh trainers on there.
Yes, indeed. They are still very shiny, aren't they?
Very white as well. So have you sort of made a New Year's resolution not to get them dirty?
No, I haven't really been out very much.
No, but when you get new trainers like that, you say, right, this time I'm going to look after them, going to, get the special cleaners and so on. Let's see how long we can last with that.
Yeah, it never happens. Never happens with me. The other thing is I wear out the soles of trainers incredibly quickly. I must just walk weird.
Oh, okay. Well, we all thought that. We just didn't want to say it, but I'm glad you've kind of come to that realisation yourself. So Christmas dinner, did you have a nice Christmas dinner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was around my parents. I don't actually eat land meat, just fish and sometimes duck, because I kind of guess that's aquatic. So
it's a bit tenuous, that's true.
It's a little bit tenuous, but I think it's aquatic, so that's sort of okay, I think. So sort of pescatarian plus duck. But anyway, I think that's a thing. So I didn't actually have the turkey, but my mum bought one from a well-known supermarket. And
fancy.
Yeah, it was fancy. But the thing is, my dad's palate isn't fancy. So they cooked it, realised it was fused with sort of garlic and all sorts of herbs and spices. So my dad was washing it under the tap to try to get off all the muck, as he put it. Didn't help that my mum also burnt it, had bacon on the top, so they were like picking off bits of charcoal off the top, and then my dad was washing it under the tap.
So what did you have while all this was going on?
Well, I'll mention a brand here, Quorn, the Quorn. Cooked that in a little bit of onion gravy, Delia's onion gravy, had everything else. So mine was delicious. They were both sitting there saying, well, this isn't very nice this year. And I was like, well, you did kind of burn it, and you have put it under a tap as well. So
did those observations help?
Not really, no. But they thought they were getting from the finest range. And I think my dad actually did say, worst Christmas dinner ever, which didn't really go down that well because my mum had been cooking all morning. Yeah. And at which point he then said he wasn't that hungry because he'd eaten his breakfast quite late as well.
Excellent. But, from a podcast perspective, we've had a quite successful little Christmas, haven't we?
We've had a great Christmas this year. So our Christmas show, thanks everyone for listening, especially, again, all you people in America, thanks for tuning in. And we're sort of seeing you again in Virginia and New Jersey. Thanks very much. And California. So we released a couple of little Christmas tunes as well. So thanks for listening to those. They were just a bit of fun. We also had the Christmas Top of the Pop special on Mixcloud, which we were trending at one point at number 15 in the Mixcloud podcast chart. So thanks for listening to that also.
Fantastic. So we might do some more of those as the years go on. And a little bit of a personal triumph for you. A little bit before Christmas, just a few days before Christmas, you have, I believe, a newfound love of elasticated trousers.
Yeah, well, we went to the rugby, as we have done this year, so this was the big game. This was at Twickenham. To be fair, I'm not very good at dressing for the weather. Well, I think in general as well. So I had my shoes on, which I've just recently got some new laces for, which are a bit too long. And I was walking down the road and they come undone, so I thought I would just do them up.
And we had literally just arrived at Twickenham Station, hadn't we?
Just arrived at Twickenham Station. Also, I hadn't put a belt on and on my jeans, so my jeans were a bit loose. So when I went to bend down, the jeans kind of went down my thighs a little bit and got a bit taut. So then when I actually bent down to do my laces up, unfortunately, they tore right around the crotch with my boxer shorts hanging out. So I thought for a moment, am I going to get away with this? Shall I just try and style this out? And I thought I had originally, and then I looked down and I saw everything flapping around in the wind. So I don't know.
I should just say, when he saw everything flapping around in the wind, that was his boxer shorts.
Yeah, so that was the point where I then said, I'd better confess, I've just ripped my trousers. And you were very sympathetic, weren't you?
I thought I was, actually.
Sure. Well, so I was going to try to get away with it, but it was a cold day, wasn't it?
It was a cold day. Like I said, we just got to get down to the club shop, get yourself a pair of trousers from there.
Yeah, so went in the club shop, had a look round. They only had one pair of trousers in there, which were designed really for like sort of professional athletes, these kind of elasticated sort of training bottoms. So £70 these cost me. £70 these training bottoms. They're for elite professionals, athletes, not necessarily me. So I finally found them in the shop and I put them on. And I thought, well, I have to just keep them on. And you saw me in the shop. You said, why are you kind of sort of sticking your bum on the counter and so on? Well, I asked if I could keep them on. So they said, but we need to scan them. So I had to turn around, stick my bum on the counter and then cut out the ticket. But after that, once I put them on, I mean, probably the best £70 I've spent this year, because I just had the freedom to move. I don't know if you saw me sort of squatting and crouching and thrusting in them.
You were striking a number of interesting poses throughout the day. We've got some photos of some of them. And you looked very happy. Very happy.
I was very happy because I had freedom of movement. And I think really what I like most about those trousers is the elastic waist. But I have come to the conclusion that it's an active waist. That's what these trousers have, an active waist. So as you move, the trousers move. So I recommend them thoroughly.
Have you been wearing them a lot over the Christmas period?
Well, I have. To be fair, a few people, and maybe 3-4 people, have said I look really out of proportion now, because they said my legs look really skinny and then my top doesn't. So they're sort of saying, like, a bit rude, one of the comments, they said like Humpty Dumpty sitting on the wall with pipe cleaner legs hanging off, which I thought was a bit rude, but that's what happens at Christmas. So then I did, and then I think my brother pulled an old clip of Kenny Everett out. I can remember when he used to...
Oh, when he was the mime?
He was the mime with those sort of skinny legs and sort of trousers on. So whilst I think they're very, very comfortable, maybe that's not the style for me, because, people haven't held back in their comments.
No, it doesn't sound like maybe something to be worn in the comfort of your own home.
Well, yeah, but that said, that's never stopped me what people think. So, and now I've discovered the joys of an active waist. I think there's no going back.
And yet you're back in denim tonight.
I'm back in denim tonight because it was a bit cold. They're a bit cold. And actually at the rugby, I did style it out. I had a summer jacket on and effectively a pair of elasticated tracksuit bottoms with a Santa hat. I have looked back at the pictures of that day, And I do look like your son, who's struggling a little bit, being taken to the rugby, I have to say.
Well, let's move along from that. So, whilst you've been very much enjoying the comfort and freedom of active waist trousers, not everyone has been enjoying 2025 as much, at least not according to the UK press. We've had a whole host of stories telling us how furious people are, and I thought it might be fun to set you a little New Year quiz. So this won't be as easy for you as the Queen one that you set for me, because I appreciate you're going to have to guess most of these. But what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to read you an actual headline from a UK press source about people being furious, and I want you to tell me, if you can, how many verified furious people they were able to cite to support their story. Okay?
Yes.
So, headline number 1. Woke Portland lawmakers spark fury with more inclusive name they've given to the city's main Christmas tree. So this is from the Daily Mail on the 30th of November. How many furious people do you think there were?
I'm going to go low on the first one, and I'm going to go for a dozen.
It was actually one, simply named Online Critic. The Mail did say that thousands of residents crowded the town square to celebrate the annual occasion, suggesting maybe a very limited amount of fury actually on that one, but certainly enough to justify a headline. Headline number 2. Fury as Avante plans to run a busy commuter service without a single passenger. So this is the Daily Mirror on the 1st of December. How many furious people did they cite?
Well, I mean, I would be furious if I'd heard this story before. I mean, there must be, again, more online critics. So, shall we go for 2?
Is the correct answer 2? Yes, both on Twitter. But one of them was actually making a joke rather than expressing any actual anger.
Okay, what were their comments? Did we know that? Or?
I don't have that to hand, no.
They were just furious.
Well, one of them was furious, the other was making a sort of tongue-in-cheek joke.
Oh, so actually one is furious then. The other one mildly furious?
I think...
Not even that, really.
No, not even furious at all, just being a bit sarky.
Okay.
Headline number 3. Fury as Under Fire Starmer claims Brexit deal has significantly hurt our economy. This from the Daily Express on the 2nd of December. Fury as Under Fire Starmer claims Brexit deal has significantly hurt our economy. How many furious people do we have now?
I'm going to go high. I'm going to go 3.
It's 2 again, I'm afraid. One, of course, is Nigel Farage, and the other is an unnamed Conservative business spokesman. So, fury there.
Fury around that story.
We're going for a little bit more local press. It's from the Newcastle Chronicle on the 8th of December. Swingbridge neglect fury as landmark set to remain broken for 150th anniversary. How many people do you think were furious about the Swingbridge?
Well, that's not good enough, is it, for the 150th anniversary? So there's going to be a lot of people furious about that. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go 4.
You've gone a little bit high, I'm afraid, Stuart. It's 3. It was 3 local councillors, actually. The quotes include, "It's rather embarrassing," and "Perhaps the Port Authority need to take a bit more responsibility." Oh, the rage.
Well, what a burn. What a burn. That councillor's furious.
That is rage, isn't it?
Whoa.
That is rage.
Burning fury there.
So one last headline now, as if all this fury wasn't enough for you. Fury as prisoners dine on chicken takeaways in cells at scandal-hit jail. This from Wales Online on the 30th of November. How many people do you think were furious as prisoners dine on chicken takeaways in cells at scandal-hit jail?
I mean, the oven might have broken. I mean, they are allowed to eat prisoners, aren't they? So, is it because it's a takeaway, I guess, isn't it? Well, I bet at least 2.
There were actually none. An anonymous source is quoted as saying it raises questions on the safety of an environment supposed to keep dangerous men locked up. Whether they said that furiously or not doesn't really come across.
I mean, that's quite arch, isn't it? That's more arch than fury, isn't it?
Well, I think it's a statement, isn't it?
I wouldn't say there was a lot of fury there, so I don't even know why that's a headline, that one.
No. So in summary, right, people aren't furious, but UK journalists are rage-mongering idiots.
For sure, because if we add up all the furious people over your stories, we've got less than 10, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got, let's just see, so that was 5 headlines, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 apparently furious people, although let's be honest, the councillors didn't really sound furious, did they? One of them was joking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for headlines claiming fury in a lot of places, there's not a lot of fury going on, is there?
Yeah, well, like, there was some sarcasm, and one of those was a bit arch, so we might need to discount those, so we might be down to 6. And
I can't believe Nigel Farage was furious.
I bet he was furious, yeah. But if we've got a population of 70 million people, and
Nigel Farage is the only furious one, and he's a cock.
So take him out, so that leaves us with 5 furious people, which kind of leads me to the conclusion, are people that furious?
See, I don't think they are. Despite the efforts of the media, it turns out a lot of people around the world still feel hopeful about the future. A global survey by Ipsos, conducted across 30 countries, they found that about 71% of people think 2026 will be better than 2025. That's almost 3/4 of respondents expecting things to improve, despite all of the algorithms out there trying to convince us that doom is the new normal. So either that means things are getting better, or we've all collectively agreed that denial is cheaper than therapy. And either way, I guess it counts. That's not just a handful of optimists in one quiet village somewhere. It's not small town bias, it's global, it's across continents. People are leaning into 2026 with a bit more hope than fear. Now, there's always caveats. Surveys vary by region. Some places are understandably warier than others. But the trend is what matters. It's us metaphorically finding that extra mince pie in the box. Small, surprising, but lifts your mood for a minute. So either we're on the right track or humanity's just very, very committed to the concept of hope. But I'll take it either way. Because, Stu, optimism, even cautious optimism, changes behaviour. It makes people invest in community projects, donate to charities, put up decorations, and believe that next year might just be a bit better. And that, my friends, is worth remembering.
Well, hope has always been a feature of the human being, isn't it? So the media will always sell us despair and doom and 6 people being furious over your 5 stories, because that's what sells newspapers. So we need more than ever, don't we, to just filter some of that out of our lives.
Yeah, and just before you get overexcited about a headline, just actually read the story and understand that no, people aren't furious. Well, apart from Nigel Farage.
I did get mildly furious once on holiday.
Yes, you did, didn't you, Stu?
Yeah, I did. So I'd been outside in the sunshine. I was in Mexico, and I'd forgotten to put any sun cream on, and I got a big red face, and I was sort of trying to leave for the night to go out, but I just looked such a fool. So I was creaming up on my face with the after sun.
Oh, right.
With the after sun, trying to just get this redness to come down a bit, and I couldn't. To a point where I missed the induction meeting in the reception, and I missed the free little drink just because I felt so embarrassed about my red face. I do remember standing there thinking, oh, God, I'm mildly furious. I've let this happen.
It's not, I mean, mildly isn't normally a word you associate with furious, is it? It's quite a different emotion.
Well, there's no swing bridges involved, that's for sure.
Let's not worry anymore about what makes us furious. Let's do the good stuff. So, Stu, what was good in 2025?
Well, as we've already identified, I think we're conditioned, aren't we, by the media to look for cracks.
Well, not since they stopped page 3, I don't think.
Well, and page 7 fella. Remember that in the Daily Mirror?
No, I never went looking for that.
Well, I didn't look for it. It was just on page 7. The page 7 fella.
We never read the Mirror.
Spelled Fella. You more of a sort of Guardian family, be?
I mean, this is horrible, but it wasn't my choice.
Daily Mail.
Yeah, my parents read the Mail.
My parents read the Daily Mail, but it wasn't always quite the car crash it is now.
No, well, the day they stopped the Mail was the day when Thatcher resigned, and they were so utterly disgusted by all the coverage and how great Maggie was, and they went to the Independent, I think, after that.
Oh yeah, a lot of people did that. So when I say about looking for cracks, it's not page 3 or the page 7 fella. It's looking for cracks in our hope, in our will. But today, Jim, I'd like to pull back the curtain on 2025 and let's have a look at some of the highlights, shall we?
I would very much enjoy that.
Right, so for over a century, coal has been the heavy, soot-stained engine of human progress, and we've talked about this one this year. This was one of your stories earlier in the year.
Yes, indeed.
We knew we had to move past it, didn't we? But it was always a moving target. But this year, the target has been hit. So in the first half of 2025, for the first time in history, renewable energy generated more electricity globally than coal. How good is that?
Excellent.
This has been driven by an explosive surge in solar capacity in China and India. The inevitable transition became a reality earlier this year. We didn't just talk about a green future, we built it. Also, whilst we're on green issue, in October, the green sea turtle, another topic we've also covered this year, a species that has spent decades on the brink, was officially moved from endangered to least concern by the IUCN. That's quite a good grading, that, isn't it? Least concern.
Yeah. I'd like to think I'd got that at school a few times. Yeah. I don't know if I did, but...
Yeah. So their populations have rebounded by nearly 30% since the 1970s. Decades of beach patrols and net modifications have worked. The oceans are literally breathing easier tonight. What that does say to me, though, is how delicate it all is, isn't it? Because it's great, isn't it, that these sea turtles have recovered and since the 70s by 30%, but that's taken like a huge effort by volunteers and people who are passionate about these sea turtles, and if they weren't there, then they probably would have gone extinct. And you think how many different species that have now gone extinct, that even with all these efforts, and they are really, really good efforts, it shows though how delicate this really is, isn't it?
It does, but I mean 2025 was a banner year for wildlife comebacks. Bird species sought extinct returned, habitats recovered, rewilding projects worked, because it turns out if you stop destroying everything for 5 minutes, nature does actually quite like being alive. We had the Guam kingfisher breeding again after decades, and that really shouldn't be possible, but here it is. And that's not because we fixed anything, it's just because we stopped actively ruining it, and then the planet did all the heavy lifting for us. And I think that's just a really useful life lesson. If we want to protect a lot of species, actually one of the first things we should do is just leave them alone. Leave their habitat alone. Stop fucking it up, and maybe it'll be all right. One of the genuinely huge stories of 2025.
Well, I think this has been one of our most consistent threads throughout the year.
It's been that in rugby, really, hasn't it?
That has been that in rugby, but have we got new news on this?
Not new news as such, but just to reiterate, because we're trying to do highlights of 2025, this was the Global Ocean Treaty finally coming into force. It's to protect the high seas treaty, that bit of the ocean that technically belongs to everyone, and it was treated like a communal fridge that no one cleans. So after years of negotiations, eye-rolling, and certain countries pretending the ocean's just a convenient place to dump crap and pretend it's miraculously disappeared, enough nations finally ratified it, and we are now only just over a fortnight away from it becoming law. So what does that mean? Vast marine protected areas, safeguards for biodiversity, and actual rules for the bit of the planet that covers most of the planet. So in short, the ocean now has boundaries, which is more than you can say for Donald Trump. Is it perfect? Nope. Is it late? Obviously. But is it a massive win? Yeah, absolutely. It's the environmental equivalent of finally installing a lock on the door after the burglars moved in, but still, better late than Atlantis. The one kicker that still comes with this story is, despite their assurances throughout the year that it would be ratified by the end of the year, the UK government have still failed to ratify the treaty, and all I can honestly say is this: you're an absolute fucking disgrace. But as successive UK governments have shown way more interest in sucking out to big polluters and in protecting the planet and its population, I guess it's unsurprising.
Jim, I think you're being a bit harsh.
Really?
Because there's one day left.
Yeah, because they're all in, aren't they, on New Year's Eve?
Well, you said by the end of the year.
Okay, if they get this done tomorrow, I'll apologise. We can leave it in and I'll record an apology. But they're not going to.
What, you think they're going to miss this deadline?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
To be fair, I always thought they were going to miss this deadline.
Well, you have said all the way through this year. We lived in hope, didn't we?
We lived in cynicism.
Yeah. Are we in the minority of not signing up here?
No. So, 80-something countries have now signed up. I forget the exact figure. Yeah. And obviously the USA haven't signed up. Australia still haven't signed up. There are some big countries missing. Russia haven't signed up. But lots of countries have. Ireland have signed up. The state of Palestine, which has only just been recognised, has signed up.
Yeah, that's one we covered in one of our programmes, And they've got quite a lot going on, haven't they?
I think they're quite busy with stuff on their hands, yeah. This really, really shouldn't be a difficult one. And look, I don't really necessarily expect any better from a Tory government. But I'd like to think that a Labour government might have done a bit more.
Well, I'm going to live in hope because we've still got one day left. So if Starmer can, I hope you're listening now, Starmer, pull your finger out. Let's get this done. Let's get it over the line.
But, whether we have or whether we haven't, it's still going ahead. It's still going to be law.
Whoa! So more of that next year, I'm hoping.
Yeah, we can start to see what happens with that, what effect it has. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Look forward to the UK joining next year. So you'll hear it here first. Well, maybe not first, but, one of the first few. Breaking news.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you are actively following the story. If you're not actively following it, you'll hear it here first.
I think all our listeners are actively following this.
If not, they should be.
Well, they will now.
Aside from the oceans getting that boost, space continued to be pretty cool actually this year. Had a good year, space. New missions have been launched. There's been more international cooperation. Science happened without immediately becoming billionaire vanity projects. Space remains one of the few places where humanity still collectively works together, because we know it's hard and it's expensive and it's worth it, and the only way we can do it is if we actually cooperate.
Well, absolutely. But unfortunately, we are now polluting space also, aren't we?
It's kind of what we do, isn't it?
It seems to be, doesn't it? We've done the oceans, and now in space there's a lot of space junk flying around. But that said, we've been to Mars, haven't we? We haven't been, but we've sent the rover, and that's sent back a photo, and there are some minerals which have been discovered, like Vivianite and Gregite. And these apparently are the fingerprints of microbes. So NASA have been testing them this year, and this is the clearest sign of ancient life we have ever found. So we're not really asking the question now of, does life exist elsewhere? We are looking at the chemical stains it left behind 3 billion years ago, which is interesting, and it's great that we found that out. But at the same time, I think some of these billionaires, Musk and so on, some of the tech bros, they feel like capitalism will play out here, we'll destroy this planet, and then we'll leave and go and live on Mars, rather than actually, shall we not, destroy this planet.
That would be better, wouldn't it? Because Mars, even if you could make it work there, it would probably still be better to make this planet work.
It feels easier. And I think we've got a better quality of life here as well.
Yeah. Well, we did evolve here for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. And if they had life there 3 billion years ago, and now they haven't, perhaps something went wrong there. let's...
I wonder if it was Billionaire Tech Bros.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But the other good thing is about the digital divide. In 2025, we began to bridge this. And UNESCO have reported that, and we've talked about this year on one of our shows, global adult literacy rose to 88%. That is incredible, with the most dramatic gains in Central and Southern Asia. But I suppose we have to have that with the caveat as well about adult literacy. It's about how that's filtered, isn't it? Because it's good to be literate, but again, you need to understand what you're hearing and what you're reading. And I think 2025 has been a year of... There's been a lot of junk thrown on social media, hasn't there?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I don't really do social media anymore. It's just awful.
Well, I don't think it's good for you. I think it's effectively like I think it's going to be, in years to come, a bit like asbestos. I think we'll look at social media like we do asbestos, and we'll say, what on earth were we doing 30, 40 years ago? Especially letting kids go on there unregulated and unfiltered. And I think we're going to see we're seeing backlash of that, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Australia this year, though, have stepped up and have banned under 16s. And yes, whilst there's ways around it, we all know there is. At least they're making the effort. They're saying, right, let's draw a line in the sand. Let's make a start. Rather than just say, it's too late, we can't do anything about it. Let's actually try. Because social media has poisoned, in many ways, democracy, isn't it?
Yeah, hugely.
And this whole thing about free speech we've heard this year, I find the groups who like to talk about free speech don't tend to like other people having free speech.
No, I mean, a lot of what they call free speech is what we also still call hate speech.
Again, that's how you define it, isn't it? And there's a whole sort of nuance around it now, isn't there? For instance, on the news yesterday, we had somebody who's come back from Egypt to live in this country, who has said a lot of derogatory things about various groups of people, but he's apologised, and that's good enough. So if we live in a democracy, you should be allowed to say what you want freely, but you should also be aware of social norms, I think, and society around you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's bring it back around. It's been a good year for medical advances as well. Ethical questions of what we should be using AI for and how much of it we should be using. But my feel is, certainly for the medical stuff, this is a great use for AI.
Jim, in November this year, the medical community stood up and cheered. Do you know why?
No.
Well, for decades, the KRAS mutation, KRAS, was the Death Star of oncology. It was responsible for some of the most aggressive lung and pancreatic cancers, but famously undruggable. But this year, the FDA approved a new generation of targeted therapies, drugs that don't just slow down these cancers, they actually dismantle them. We are now entering the era of precision healing, where a diagnosis that used to be a death sentence is now for many a manageable journey. We're hearing a lot about the negativity of AI, but as we've discussed this year, the potential is amazing.
Yeah, no, I think we are. And we've had conditions like, for example, AIDS was a death sentence. You were diagnosed with AIDS, you were going to die. Now you can live with it. I think AI will bring us to a point where a number of these things that were untreatable, even if they can't be cured, will be able to be managed.
As we go into 2026, let's again be more hopeful. Let's listen to the scientists. Let's listen to the experts. And let's all have a healthy 2026.
Sounds like a good plan to me. Wonderful.
So I want to talk a bit about some weird and wonderful things.
Well, you're the man to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a topic made for me. So this year, the James Webb Space Telescope discovered a new exoplanet shaped like... Do you know what it was shaped like? Have a guess. Found a new planet, exoplanet, and it's shaped like a
Banana.
It's not a banana.
Car.
No, it is a fruit.
Okay. But not just a normal sort of round fruit. Is it like a melon?
It's not a melon.
Is it an avocado?
It's not an avocado.
Do you want to just tell me?
Do you want another go? Or...
Well, not really, no.
Okay, it's like a lemon.
Okay. That would have been my next guess.
Well, you didn't want another guess.
No, but it would have been.
Well, you say that now.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah, but now I've told you the answer.
So you'll never be able to prove otherwise.
Absolutely. The lemon orbits a dense star every 8 hours. Gravity has stretched it into an oblong fruit. It features an atmosphere of soot and helium, and at its core, it's likely raining diamonds. Imagine that.
Whoa.
Imagine that, a planet that's shaped like a lemon, and it rains diamonds. Would you like to live there?
No, I should think diamond rain, that'd be quite dangerous, wouldn't it?
Well, it might smart a bit, I guess.
Smart a bit? It'd cut you to shreds.
Oh, yeah. But you would be rich, wouldn't you?
You'd be dead.
For sure, but rich. Rich and dead.
Yeah. I think I'm probably happier being alive and poor. So you'd go there?
I would go there. I would get a ticket for that. I would like to experience that.
I provided I could stay inside and just have a look at it and then go again. Yeah.
So what would you like? A planet shaped like a banana raining opal fruits?
Well, just raining rain would be fine. You don't want it to rain anything hard because it's going to fall from quite a height.
Yeah.
It's going to pick up trajectory. It's going to hurt.
Okay. So you're saying you want something soft?
Yeah.
Rain.
I think rain is probably the ideal rain.
You're a bit vanilla, aren't you?
Well, last time I said I was vanilla, you wouldn't have that at all.
Well, that's quite vanilla, isn't it? Because I'm offering you a planet shaped like a lemon, raining diamonds.
I'm just saying that would be incredibly dangerous.
Whereas you just want a planet that rains.
Well, if it's got to rain at all, water is the ideal substance. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you know, vanilla, as I say. I'm more choc mint.
I don't know what that means.
Anyway, back on Earth, Jim. Also this year, scientists went 3,000 metres down into the Southern Ocean. Do you know what they found down there?
Banana?
No, we've moved on from that now.
All right. Lemon?
It was the death ball sponge.
That was going to be my next guess.
You can't keep doing this. You can't keep doing this.
I can afford.
Well, you can't, because I've given you...
I've just done it.
No, but I've given you the opportunity to have a guess, and then you say, "Oh, I don't know. I don't want to play anymore."
I never said that.
Well, that's kind of what you're insinuating.
Unbelievable.
And then I give you the answer, and then you said that's what I was going to say. I just don't buy it. I don't think you were going to come out with death ball sponge.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
All right, then. Do you know what a death ball sponge looks like?
Yeah.
Go on, then. It's a glowing...
Yeah, like the glowing
Glowing what?
ball of sponge.
Well, it is a ball.
Yeah,
It's a
I
ball.
told you.
Yeah.
Tell me your story.
What size a ball?
Oh, they vary.
They don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't. What size you going for?
Medium.
It's not medium. No, it's a ping pong ball. That's not medium, is it?
Well, yeah, because I'm like small. That'd be like tiny. Yeah, no, ping pong, but that's medium. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were going to say that, were you?
Well, I mean, if you'd wanted me to give an example of a medium-sized ball, obviously.
Okay. Anyway, you know the death ball sponge,
Oh yeah,
which we've been talking about.
ping pong size.
It's actually carnivorous. It's a carnivorous predator covered in tiny hooks that taps prey in the dark. Every time we think we've mapped the Earth, Jim, the Earth whispers back, "You got no idea."
Is that how the Earth sounds?
Yep.
Well, I never.
It's been recorded by scientists, and they've studied and researched the sound waves.
Right.
And
that's what the Earth sounds like.
That's, if the Earth could speak, that's how it would sound.
Fascinating.
You have no idea. wasn't it?
I mean, I don't really know how to follow that. No, I
Do you want me to tell you about a comeback story?
yeah, go on then. I mean, yeah, why not? Is there any guessing involved? Because I'm doing well on that.
Well, you're not, are you? You're not really.
Oh God, let's give it a go.
Okay, well, we covered this one as well this year.
Right.
So this is about the Pachulia snail. So the Pachulia snail was considered extinct in the wild. These are tiny, vibrant snails. Do you know what they're called? Do you know what their nickname's called? These
Snaily McSnailface?
No. You probably wouldn't have got this. This is quite...
I mean, all I would say is had they run the poll for the UK to decide, that's what they'd have gone for.
No, these are called the ghosts of French Polynesia. You probably couldn't have guessed that, could you? I mean, I've been surprised if you'd have come out with that.
That was going to be next.
The ghosts of French Polynesia.
Yeah.
That's what they are. But again, this year, a massive international effort has released 7,000 zoo-bred of these snails back into the island homes. Conservationists dotted the shells with their UV reflective paint. If you walk through the forests of Tahiti at night, you would see a shifting constellation of tiny glowing blue stars moving through the leaves. Why does this matter, Jim? I hear you say.
Why does this matter, Stu?
Because in a world of big problems, we found the heart, the science, and the 30 years of patience to care about a creature the size of a fingernail.
That's fabulous, isn't it? Look, we have seen massive marine protected areas established. We've seen serious money go into forest protection and restoration, actual square miles, actual funding, the kind of moves that show we do now realise this is bigger than paper straws and reusable coffee cups. Was 2025 good?
There was a lot of good things that happened in 2025. I think one of the big takeaways is good news doesn't sell. It doesn't sell. In the media, social media, people aren't interested in good news. It's out there. It is out there. It's not highlighted enough. Just as much as there's all this bad news and negativity, there's some amazing things going on. And this is what we do, isn't it? This is what we try to do each week.
So that's why nobody listens to us.
Well, it's growing, and I think, our American audience, they're buying into this. They're hearing this positivity. There is a world out there.
I mean, that's the second time you big the American audience up, high American audience. But let's not forget that we have an awful lot of UK listeners.
I would never.
Don't neglect them.
I would never take our UK listeners for granted. But you know, we're here for you. But I just wanted to extend out to our friends, and also in Canada and Australia and all around the world. We're not so different, me and you, around the world. They're
all quite different to you.
Well, they've got different accents, I guess, but Oh, I see. It's a bit rude.
So was 2025 perfect? Absolutely not. Was it calm? God, no. But did it contain progress, cooperation, and proof that humans can occasionally get their act together? Yeah, it did. And that feels worth celebrating, because good news doesn't mean pretending everything's fine. It means recognising momentum when it happens and then pushing it further. So here's to the scientists, the campaigners, the volunteers, the communities, and the quiet grafters who made this year better than it could have been. And here's to 2026 being slightly less unhinged. Same time, same podcast, same attempt to convince ourselves that everything's fine.
Jim, before we go,
hang on,
because we're still in the Christmas spirit, aren't we?
Are we?
It's time for a quiz.
Okay, this has become a bit out of the blue. It's literally just wrap out. I was one word from finishing the podcast.
Absolutely. So stay with us, everybody. Last week you heard Jim take on the mighty Queen. This week he will be taking on Doctor Who. Here we go, Jim.
Yeah, okay, go on.
Here we go, Jim. So I'm going to read 10 questions out to Jim, and I can offer him multiple choice. It's up to him, and we'll see how we get on. So, Jim,
Yeah.
question 1. Which celestial body was the home of the Nestine consciousness before it was destroyed by the Time War? I made these quite hard because Jim's a hardcore Doctor Who fan, so I thought I'll test him.
Yeah, I'll take the options.
Polymos, Pyrovilia, Mondas, or Scaro?
It's the first one.
Polymos.
Yes.
Reveal. That's right. It's the established home in the expanded universe and revived series lore. Good start. Number 2. In the episode The Brain of Morbius, thank you, Jim, how many faces are shown during the mental wrestling match before the first Doctor appears? I'm going to give you some options. 3, 12, 8, 0.
3.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, why not?
I'm just going to give you a hint before you give your final answer.
Okay.
It's more than the number of Doctors that had existed in the show's run at that time.
Yeah.
1976. So,
but we were only on the fourth Doctor, which means you could see
final
2.
answer?
Maybe it was more than that. Maybe they showed, but then there's the Morbius.
I wouldn't want to distract you or take you down a blind alley. You happy with 3?
Yeah, go on. I don't really know.
Here we go. Oh, that's not quite. The 3 faces would only account for the Doctors known at the time of the episode's release.
Not if it was before the first Doctor.
So, in the episode, The Brain of Morbius, how many faces
Before the first Doctor
are shown during the mental wrestling match before the first Doctor appears?
Yeah. So even 3, because you'd only hear Bertrand Trout and Hartnell. I know there's all the Morbius Doctors. I've no idea what order they.
So the correct answer, according to my AI-generated quiz, is 8. The sequence shows 8 faces prior to the first Doctor, which was a point of heavy debate until the Timeless Child. So, tough question that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Tough question. What is the name of the ancient Time Lord who co-founded Time Lord Society alongside Rassilon and Omega?
Rassilon and Omega.
Thank you. Shall I give you the options?
Yeah.
The Veil Yard, the other, Morbius, or Barusa?
It's the other.
That's correct. The other is the mysterious third founder of Gallifrey. So back on track now, Jim, even though you slightly debated that last answer, but you know, let's speak to the adjudicator later. Which Doctor was the first to use the sonic screwdriver on the screen?
Patrick Troughton, second Doctor.
Second Doctor. That's right.
In Fury from the Deep.
That's a good bit of added knowledge there. Well done. In the end of time, the Master attempts to turn every human into himself. What did he call this collective?
Master Race.
The Master Race. Yes, he did. The Master uses this to describe the world after he overwrites the human DNA with his own. Good heavens. Reminds you of someone, doesn't it? Anyway. What was the name of the Doctor's granddaughter who travelled with the first Doctor?
Susan.
Do you know her surname?
Foreman.
Yes, that is correct. What is the primary power source of a TARDIS located at the centre of the ship?
Well, this has been a bit of a bone of contention, but they've probably got the Eye of Harmony down the
We've got the Cloister Bell, we can have the Heart of the TARDIS, the Eye of Harmony, or a Zero Room.
Well, according to the TV movie, it's the Eye of Harmony.
Let me give you a hint. It involves a star suspended in a permanent state of collapse. Eye of Harmony, that's where you went to start with? Yes. Good answer. Number 8. Which villainous race was created by the scientist Davros?
The Daleks.
You were indeed. From the planet
Skaro.
In the episode Blink, what is the only way the Weeping Angels can be killed? permanently without external weapons?
Well, in the end, it's just because they look at each other, so they're quantum locked.
Correct answer. They were frozen in a quantum lock forever, as they can never stop observing each other. What a way to go. So, question 10. What is the translation of the word TARDIS?
Time and relative dimension in space.
That is correct. So, well done, Jim, there. That's 9 out of 10. And that was a tough question, that other one, which has left out to some debate as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've not watched Brain of Morbius for a long time, so I'm not sure.
Absolutely. So, as you can see there, Jim has beat the question marks. So, as you can see there, Jim has beaten me once again. 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 on the Queen. So, that's enough of the quizzes for this year. We just did that for Christmas fun, so I hope you've enjoyed those. And just leave you to wrap up the show.
Well, I thought I pretty much had, but thanks for that, Stu. That was unexpected. So we will be back again soon, probably next week. We seem a bit undecided on that, but we'll be back again soon.
We are.
We are back again. We will be back again next week with our normal ramble through any good news that we can find. In the meantime, of course, if you're enjoying the show and you know this stuff by now, please like, please share, please subscribe. If you haven't done so far, you're probably not going to, but we'll keep asking. As 2026 goes by, we'll have our normal eclectic mix of guests and stories and the occasional special episode, and maybe some more of these new musical ones that we're doing as well. Thank you for listening to us through 2025. Hope you stick with us through 2026. Shelley and Gemma will also be back with us again soon. Until then, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year!
And remember that everything's fine. Probably.